Hey guys, welcome back to the YKTR Sports Show, brought to you in the BodyScience Studio. No longer the BSC, now the BodyScience Studio. You can get your supplements from Coles anywhere.
Desi just doing Desi rocking around on his walk with what's his dog's name? Oh fuck, what's his dog's name?
I don't know.
Well, you don't stalk his Instagram like me.
Fuck, I'm thinking about changing clubs next year, NRL clubs. Can you do that? What's your thoughts on that? Or you just got to stay?
You do whatever you want, man.
Yeah, fucking oath. I've always been players over club. That's always been my motto.
Back then, Caelan's still my favourite player.
You got yourself in a pickle now.
Do you know who I'd pick?
Who?
Have a guess.
You're not going to the Storm.
Nah.
No. So who's gun coming through?
Do you know who?
You're going to be jumping. You're going
I've
to
already told you who I was going.
You're jumping on a young.
You've already told me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jumping on. Let me think about it as we roll, and then.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty big decision. I'd get fucking bagged, wouldn't I?
Yeah, rightly so.
Who would your second team be, Jackson?
Good question. You know I love me some Cade Gus, so probably the third game.
Let me eliminate. I need to get the teams up and just eliminate a few.
It's pretty obvious when you think about it, from top to bottom. Great alignment. I'll give you a clue. They got great alignment.
Oh, you're going Roosters? Yeah. There you go.
Makes sense.
Obviously, me and Mark Boris, really good mates.
Yeah.
Me and Robbo, good mates.
Yeah.
I'm from the area.
Yeah.
Me and Kerry, good mates.
Yeah.
Joey Manu.
Geez, you've been very Kiri lately.
He's my boy, bro. He's my boy. I want to get him on the show. That's why.
Yeah, go on.
And do you know why the other reason why I like? Because I hate the Dragons now.
Yeah.
Because
And they play on Anzac
they
Day.
play on Anzac Day. So when they smack them on Anzac Day, I'm going to be like, fuck you, the Red V. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the YKTR Sports Show. Called the Sports Show, but we mostly talk about league. Joined as always by Skipper Scope. Hey, how you going, bro?
Yeah, it was cold this morning. Good
Was
day.
it? You in the water?
Swimming with the dolphins.
Scope's rocking some Doozy merch at the moment. So if you're part of the Doozy Club, he's got a runners club within the Doozy Club as well.
Yep.
How's that going?
Yeah, 40 of the best. Boys keeping ourselves accountable. We had in the first challenge, we gave away some kit to the boys as well. So we had first person to 100 kilometres. A guy knocked it out in a week. Like, fuck, it was crazy. And then a couple of the boys have cramped up. So on the second week, I made it a little bit different. You have to run a minimum of 15K and you're beating your time, average pace per minute. So it's a little bit more on consistency and all that sort of stuff. But there's a good vibe. Everyone, there's 40 of us. We're all like, you wake up in the morning, sometimes you feel like shit. Three of the four of the boys have logged a run.
Already gone in.
It makes you get up and get after it. So it's been good.
That's cool. Got some merch jumping for Scope next week as well. Pretty cool. So we'll start leaking that pretty soon. Vintage Jackson, how's it going, bro?
What's up, boys?
I thought I'd give you a bit of an intro now. You're part of the show.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm just, I don't have my computer here, so I'm handwriting the show notes, old school vibes.
Oh, yeah? All right, cool. So let's just rip into the show straight away. Oh, actually, before we go into this, there's a show on ESPN called, is it Around the Horn?
Yeah.
There's a show on ESPN called Around the Horn. We're looking at trying to implement it next year, but potentially we might have a crack over the final series, which I think is a really good show. It would be me versus Scope, potentially Rugby League Guru. We haven't hit him up, and potentially someone like a Denon Camp or Finchy or...
Campy or Finchy would be fucking all time.
Imagine trying to do the Hello Sports Boys, but they just go on tangents. Like, bro, you've got a minute to get your point across.
I'll be smacking that bell too.
Yeah, I reckon you'd hit my bell a bit too much, nice-wise. You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would favour you.
Yeah, I know.
It can't be Jacko, actually, now that you think about that.
Yeah, when I was thinking that, I was like...
I'll be honest.
No, you won't.
But I've got to keep job security in mind.
In saying that, though, he would obviously favour you and the negative points wouldn't go away. But I know he enjoys my takes and I know he loves Kempy and Finchy and Guru. So in a way... He does have, like, just say, for instance, if it was
I've got a big
Simi.
soft spot for it. So if it was Simi, I'd be fucking...
Yeah, there would be negative. But,
so on that show, they have a negative bell as well, so you can lose points.
And you get muted for, like, 30 seconds.
Grateful.
Shit takes, yeah.
And then once you get kicked off the show, you get a sign-off, Like
they have 3 rounds. You get to have a little say before you go off. And sometimes if they're dribbling on or it's rank, he just mutes them as they're fucking talking.
I can do all that off the roadcaster too, so...
Yeah, we can do it, yeah. We've got the mute button there, we've got the sound.
Yeah, I'm supposed to catch up with Kempy to give Kempy a chat in a couple of days. So he'd be awesome if he could come on and do that for us.
Yeah,
throw it all up on the tally too. It'd be mad.
Ooh, I need to catch up with him soon anyway. So, yeah, Jacko, let's go, bro.
Ready to roll? All right, we're just going to go 3 of the best off the top before we get through game by game and get the boys' thoughts. But immediately, obviously, the big one is the mass players being rested. We'll start with you here. I kind of mentioned it before the show, but it felt like to me that we hadn't seen this many players being rested before. Is this something that's typically done round 25 every year, or is it just the way the competition sort of played out?
I just feel like it's been a really long year. So, and obviously everyone's away from home. So, and Parramatta was probably the one that sort of stuck out the most. But yeah, I'd be doing it if I was in the coaches. I know people want to see that, but it's round 25. Like, honestly, who gives a fuck? We were just kind of trying to get... I know there's a couple of teams that are playing for the top 8 this week. That probably matters, and you do want to be rolling into a bit of form, but I don't see it as a big issue. It seems like it's a little bit more highlighted because a lot of the teams are in a comfortable position where they are going to be playing finals and spots have already set up, but I don't see it as that big of an issue. What about you, Scope?
Yeah, I think it does feel like there's more. I haven't really had a look back on the past years. I know Storm have definitely done it before in the past, and Roosters, like Robbo's been really good at doing it over a 3 or 4 week span, a bit like Melbourne have done this year. Like they've only got 4 or 5 out. But those guys have generally been first position and pretty much locked up. It's a little bit weirder to see teams doing it around the 5-6, like the Parramatta mark. But for me, it does make sense because, as Ice will know, round 25 every year, pretty much everyone's injured. Like, not on the injury report, but they've either carrying something that's been lingering on for a long time. So if you're in a position, for instance, like Parramatta, where, BA is probably not going to come out and say it, and Parramatta are not going to say it, the player's not going to say it, probably not going to beat Penrith this week. So the key for them is to get everyone fit over a 2-week period. I think they might even be close to getting Regan Campbell-Gillard back. If I was them, I'd probably prefer to have this week off. They put in all these young kids. A couple of them, whether they're not going to make the team or whatever, it's great experience for them to go up against a big team. Then Brad Arthur can also get some more information on some of these young kids for next year, or if it comes down to a decision and they lose someone in the finals.
Yeah, that's true.
Do we have a couple of kids that are up to it who performed well in that game? So there are so many positives that can come out of it.
And the other side of it, you don't have to get up to play a finals game. Like, everyone's going to be keen and up for a finals game. You kind of have to get up to play round 25.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Like, you're just trying to get through. And, like, we got you in around 25 with Penrith when you guys went to the GF, but... Like, we were cheering, but you can't sit and give a fuck. Yeah. I was just talking to you after the game. We were just having a normal chat. And it's just one of those things. You just got to get through this round and, it's all starts next week.
Yeah, I'll give you another example. We played, and this is like a bit of a sledging story again. So we played Cronulla in our last round, in my last year in 2015, and we were out of finals contention. We ended up finishing 10th or 11th, but like we couldn't have got into the top 8. And we were so rats. Like, we obviously, like, we had nothing to play for. The boys were talking about Mad Monday costumes and, like, where we're going to go and all that sort of shit because, like, that's where we were at. And then there was, like, a little scuffle at a scrum about 15 or 20 minutes in. And then there was, like, so much shit talk that ended up sparking us. And Cronulla were fighting for a top 4 spot. They were trying to get in the top 4. So I even said something like, I talked some shit to Ennis, like... I got a couple of little fucking run-ins with him over the years, and I said, like, oh, yeah, we were rats. Like, we were already thinking about Mad Monday, but now we want to knock you out of the top 4. Like, and just shit like that. So that added incentive to us, but, like, the mindset going into that game was we couldn't be fucked. Like, you know what I mean? And that was my last game in the NRL too. And I still couldn't be fucked.
Just watch the Velcro scope. Just 2 things for me on that scope. You said, like, if you're para, you go in and they won't say it, but you're probably thinking you're not going to beat Penrith anyway. They beat Melbourne last week.
Yeah, but then you're like, big game, and then you got to run to another big game.
So they beat Melbourne. Do you think they're going to beat Penrith and they got to play? Just say if they beat Penrith, they got to play Melbourne again next week.
Yeah,
and then, you know what I mean? Like, it's
the boys tanking. Is BA tanking?
No, not tanking, but like just being realistic with where he's at with his squad and giving himself the best possible chance to win. So if they get the opportunity, like, you know what, they end up finishing 5th or 6th and they play Newcastle or Titans week 1 of the finals, like compared to playing Melbourne, with where they're at now, because they do have some confidence going in now. Like, after the last couple of weeks, good performance against the Cowboys, knocked off Melbourne.
Little freshen up this week.
They play Panthers, they'll freshen up a little bit, and then they'll go on the week 1 finals. Just say if they come up and they do a number on Newcastle, who are starting to lose some troops, like, you know, whether Daniel Safidi comes back in, he'll be a big plus if they can sort of get him back. But Clemmer's been out for the Knights. If they can do a number on because the Knights have looked a little bit scratchy as well the last couple of weeks to get into the
our
cement,
sucks at the moment.
To cement that top 8 spot. So, like, without saying it, dare say that I'd be thinking it wouldn't be the worst thing to sort of just go that route.
I disagree, but it doesn't matter what I think. Ice, what about like?
It does.
What about what about
Take yourself short like that.
What about the what about okay? If I'm playing devil's advocate there,
Yeah, go on.
with that scope. Ice, I'll start with you here though. Like they played themselves into form last week for the first time in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Is there not a thinking that that's potentially counterintuitive then to have one good game, pull the boys out and rest them, and you're trying to start again?
No, not if all the boys that have been a part of those wins are not playing. Like when it's all the kids out there and they're going to get some experience, and the older boys are knowing like they're sitting back and they're recovering, and their boys go out and just say if the kids go out and have a big effort too, like they throw everything at them. Like the older
That'll
boys,
get you up. That'll get you
the
up.
older
Right,
boys
okay.
will get something out of that as well. So
Yeah.
there's really nothing for me, other than the competition points. There's not much to lose from in this sense.
BA's just throwing out the young fellas to take the hits for the older boys.
Yeah,
eh?
fucking
Basically,
oath.
he's just protecting the
Tackle
older
bags, yeah.
boys. Yeah, that's what it is.
And
hey,
they also-
hey, young boys, go out here, get a bit of experience. You'll be talking that, but behind the scenes, he's going, fuck, I can't have Gutho injured, or a couple of the boys are suspended anyway.
I think
so.
Gutho come off at the end of the game in the Melbourne game with a little.
Yeah, he
with a
landed
little
like
nick.
that, bro.
Yeah.
It was fucking
So he
sore.
might have been having the week off anyway. But in saying that too, the young boys are getting a fucking game at NRL.
And they haven't. You got to remember as well. There's been no Q Cup of New South Wales
Yeah,
Cup as well.
exactly.
They haven't played.
They'll
so
be pumped to get out there. So
Little matchy, little 3K,
Yeah.
cheering just before off season, rolling into Mad Monday.
yeah, too many positives there for Parramatta for me.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, rolling then into the next topic, which is Johnny Bateman. Old Johnny boy, Ice, we'll start with you here. The last sort of 24, 48 hours been linked with a return to Aussie. Sort of a two-part question. We'll start with where would you like to see him go? Obviously, the teams that have been linked are the same three that seem to get linked with every off-market player, which is the Tigers, Dogs, and my mighty Waz. Where do you want to see John Bateman go? And then off the back of that, who else is still kicking around in the Super League that you kind of want to see back here?
Just obviously we're going to talk in the sense that we're leaving all his family issues to the side.
Of course.
We all understand. He's got a daughter and all that stuff. But in my opinion, playing wise, I wish he'd never left. Where I liked
him at Canberra.
yeah, you liked him at Canberra.
Yeah, I loved him at Canberra.
I feel like he was the glue that held those boys together, eh?
Well, he looks like it now.
Yeah, and it's probably like sometimes when players leave, it sort of ups their value. Same as like Reynolds at the start of this year. Once he was out, the boys are getting pumped by 50. I think he's just upped his value. So where would I like to go? Roosters.
Yeah, cool.
Fuck, I didn't see that coming.
That's my team next year,
Threw
bro,
your new
Roosters.
team at me. I talked about it in the blog not long ago that Tigers need to do everything that they can to get all the best youngsters and get the best players from the Super League. So
Yeah, true.
I know, it probably wouldn't be high on his list to come back for the Tigers at the moment. But if I was the Tigers, I'd throw overs at him to get him to He's such a good player, and plus he's got a relationship with Madge from Wigan. Bateman fucking come through at Wigan, and Madge had a good relationship with him. Like he would have won some trophies with him at Wigan back in the. I think he would have been in juniors or whatever.
I think he didn't want to live in Canberra. Was that the word?
No, well, you look at it. George Williams, Bateman. There's problems there with like within the core. Like
Josh Hodgson got sacked as skipper. Like it's all.
yeah, there's something happening down there at Canberra, and we might not like ever hear about it, but there are rumblings. Like George Williams goes, John Bateman goes.
And all the Curtis Scott drama.
Tarpany got dropped at one point. Like I think.
He always drops Josh
Papali'i to the bench. Like, there's something weird happening at Canberra, and like obviously, I've been coached by Ricky. Like, he was the first grade coach, and I sort of know some of the stories about him. Like, he can be pretty draining. So, a fresh start for Johnny would probably be best. And in terms of for Johnny, like, I'd love to see Johnny play at the Roosters, like you said.
Yeah, I love to see him in a good side. Just a really
In a
good
contender
side.
because he's such a good player.
And you could sort of play. I know Victor Radley's there as well, and Connor's there. So kind of, and then you got Tupanua and Crichton.
Tupanua and Crichton.
Nat Butcher and Egan as well. Sort of
Egan
their depth
Butcher,
there.
yeah.
You just get him in the squad somewhere. Who gives
Yeah,
a
he'll
fuck?
play.
You play him at centre.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Put him at centre and just let him roam. And you've got Jerome. Joey and him.
Well,
Pretty good side.
Bulldogs were after him badly back in the day, weren't they? But now they've got so many players. Could they still, if they could fit him in, because like they still need edge back rows as well. If they could get Bateman, the rebuild.
Are they top 8 if they get?
Yeah,
It's up
I'd
to
get
them,
excited
mate,
about the
yeah.
Bulldogs. I'd get excited about the Bulldogs if they were to get Bateman. But
Haven't they got like 12 players leaving this year or something like that? And then
They've
only
pretty mass
recruited?
overhaul, yeah.
yeah, they've only recruited a little bit, so they're going to have
6
to be.
or 7, yeah.
yeah,
Before
but
November
their
1,
4
I think.
players are worth probably the value of what those 12 players were on. Like they signed some big names.
Some big fish.
What about outside of Johnny Bateman, Ice? What about anyone else kicking around in the Super League that you
Oh, plenty, bro.
Was he back?
Yeah,
I'd
there
love
are some
to.
good
Like,
ones.
there's a fucking half shortage in the NRL.
Yeah, Widdop.
Like, everyone's like, say Normie, for example. Normie needs to go Super League. Like, bro, there's a fucking... I know he hasn't played well this year. There's a half shortage here. So, we need to get all the big dogs back here. Widdop, top of mind. Your boy, Milky.
Milky.
Is he ready to come back?
Yeah, he was ready a couple of years ago, but he was like
Who's Milky?
Jacob Miller. I played with him at Wakefield Trinity. He's like, I loved playing with him, man, and I sort of had this perception of him because he come through the Tigers and Roosters system when he was younger.
But he was Benji and Robbie were there, right? That'd be hard to play off those boys.
Bro, he was stuck behind. So this is what happened to Milky's career. So he was like an Australian schoolboy. He come through with like Chase Blair. I think maybe GI. No. Anyway, like we come through some really good players. But he went as a big name to the Roosters, and he had Piercy, Toddy Carney, and Braithen Astor in front of him. Like that's when they went to the grand final that 2010 year. So so he sort of didn't see a future there. So he went over, and they were trying to find a partner with Benji back in the day. So Robbie Farah, Benji, Scotty Prince just retired. So they brought Milky over.
They had Rob Louis there for a bit. Rob Louis was perfect for Benji because he was just catching and pass. Like, so a half like me would have been perfect for Benji because I just stand there and pass it to you, and I'm happy doing that. Like that would have been good for me. But then he was good.
He was at the Cowboys.
Then he went to the
before.
Cowboys, and then that's when Miller went over.
Yeah, so he come in. No, they were all part of the same preseason. Jakey's told me about it. So he come over. I think Robert Louis might have just come through during that time as well. Yeah, through the juniors, and then so they were battling during the off season. And then that same season, they end up getting Braith from the Roosters. So he gets along really well with Braith. But like they end up, they were travelling to training together. But then he almost got stuck in a worse position than he was at the Roosters. Yeah. So he went overseas, played over there, and then because he's done so well in the UK, he got paid really good money to stay over there, and his family's grown up over there. But another guy who went really well and who I rated over here was Reece Martin. Yeah, he plays at Leeds. He's a
he left way too early. Blake Austin. He's a fucking good 5'8", but he might just be happy over there, getting paid what he's getting paid, and you only have to turn up to 4 or 5 games a year there, like properly. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe that grinds gets a little bit old when you're back here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a few more that are over there.
Yeah. Also, just quickly, shout out to Robert Louis, announced his retirement.
So
Robert Louis hanging him up. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He was for Leeds. He's playing for Leeds, with Connie and that.
Yeah, he is too, because he did a swap with Lolohea from Salford to Leeds.
Connie with a decent little preseason underneath his belt.
Oh, yeah, Connie could come back.
I'd come straight back into Mudders United if we got that team rolling.
Yeah, he should take the sort of Shantae Harpy sort of route, like go over there, play good games, and then go to Union. Like go play for Sale Sharks.
He destroys them over there. He destroys when he's on, he scores like 3 tries a game. When he first came over, he was just like no one could tackle him.
There was like those like there's a couple league outside backs that were playing for like Wigan or something like that, and they just signed big deals with Union because Union's just so much bigger over there.
Yeah, there's
also Northern Hemisphere rugby starving for like blockbuster outside backs. Like, they produce very good players.
Denny Solomona.
Solomona, he's like the prime example of that.
He did play at Melbourne Juniors and then went over to Cass and played on the wing for Cass.
Like that, bro.
Something like that. And then just now he's like he was on the...
He had like an 18 try scoring season or something like that and just rolls over and... Like Shantae Harpy, I was over there because Ali Lawatiti was our back rower. So obviously they were boys from the Warriors and we got to meet with him down in London. Bro, the dudes were getting like Range Rovers for making the World Cup and shit. Got a whole Range Rover and then he goes, I wish I left the league earlier because he struggled with head knocks and stuff. Bro, I make like 5-6 tackles and like that's a good game. I should have come here ages ago. I was like, fuck. Should have been my sport, bro.
All right, rolling into the weekend's footy, we'll go through game by game. We won't spend too long on them, but just get the boys' thoughts. Scope, we'll start with you. Thursday night footy. It's probably the most important.
How are the Roosters the $1.71?
They got so Crichton comes back in, Angus Crichton, Josh Morris. They get a few more big ins, eh? So they started off as underdogs at $2 and then they come in.
That's when I got them, Skip.
Yeah. And you know what? Mudders Hutchinson's still playing 6, so they're a big chance.
Oh, Jared's back as well.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, their pack's gun.
Yeah.
That's my team.
Look, and you got Ikevala when Josh Morris come back into the back line.
Oh, J Morris.
Adam Kieran's back as well.
But I tell you what, I like the Raiders now at $2.10. And I also try to multi it up, but you can't do it. Raiders to make the top 8. I think Melbourne should do a job on the Sharks in the next game, on the first game on Friday night.
Yep.
Raiders, I feel like they will beat the Roosters and then... they're the team that goes through the top 8. I think they're playing $2.80, and I try to multi it up together. They wouldn't allow it.
I think Roosters will beat the Raiders now. I didn't know that until obviously till now, but I think Jared's keen for a game now. off the back of
But
last
they've always
week.
had the wood over the Roosters, even when the Roosters have been stacked. You got to remember that, bro. Like, apart from the grand final, last year they knocked them out in the finals last year as well. Remember when we were in Byron?
Who cares? The Roosters going to pump them. I wouldn't know, actually. I wouldn't say that. That was a bit Jacko, that.
I was about to jump in there for you.
You're on your new team badly, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the end of the season yet, mate. Relax. Friday night. Icy obviously touched on it just then. Well, Scope touched on it, but we got Melbourne playing Cronulla, resting a few stars, Melbourne, but still obviously a very stacked side. You had a bit of a hot take before the show.
I thought more Storm players were out, so I haven't really
got?
done my research today. But yeah, I think Storm.
Bells has been listening to the podcast, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah. Nelson Asafa Solomona is back.
Nice.
Beautiful. Big Nelly from Welly. Dal Finucane is back as well.
Has he got Darcy Lussick on his mind? Will that throw him off?
Imagine if Lussick come running out with fucking Toby Rudolph for the Sharks off the point.
Oh.
Do it too, Darth.
I can just picture old Darcy back in the NRL, eh? Willy-nilly. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Like, if they're going to win, I think it's up to Matty Moreland.
Yep.
Honestly. Yep.
Matty's so silky, man. I was watching him on the weekend again, and we always try to not be biased towards the players that we know. But when he comes on and he plays like nice and square, he never really throws a ball to someone in a bad position. Like they always get a one-on-one, and so like they might get the ball like right at the contact, but it's never like getting the ball there with someone jamming him. Like it's always an opportunity for the guy to catch the ball just on his inside shoulder or just on the outside. Like those little minor details make such a difference, especially if you're an edge running. Like I noticed that stuff because I relied on that. I needed that. Like if I got fucking a bad ball, I could fucking end up in hospital. So I'll notice little things like little subtleties like that in his game. And but I still think the Storm will have enough. Nico Hines goes to 6. Pappy, like we said in the Monday show, he's still a little bit off. Like his timing's a little bit off. So I think maybe not having Nico Hines on the bench where he can just completely know that he's going to play 80 minutes and he's not worrying about, what's Nico Hines, is he coming on to take his spot and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That could suit him. So
yeah.
Moyes is one of my favourite players to watch off the ball. We were texting each other on the weekend. Moyes and Cody Walker. Like, if they don't get their way on the shape and they're playing the ball and they get tackled with the ball, the old looking back like that, fucking angry as. My favourite players to watch off the ball, them too. Yeah. Grumpy as.
Friday night, second game. Skip is the mighty Parramatta Eels, Justin Horrow's second favourite team, up against the Penrith Panthers. Again, Panthers resting a few, but Para are the ones who have completely...
Would Para be in your top 8 favourites? You got some emotional scars from there. Yeah, I think like the scoreline reflects the $1.03 favourites to $13 for the first two. I think Panthers are going to smack him. I think Nathan Cleary will be stewing on that game he's had on the weekend. I think he should just be... I wouldn't be loading up. But
$1.03 is not worth it, but they should smack him. Yeah.
Fuck, their team's strong. And in saying that, like, Penrith are different to, like, Melbourne, and they had their scrappy weeks 4 to 5 weeks ago, and they had some players out. So their mindset will be different. Like, their mindset's to be playing good footy and fucking do a number on these guys. Plus, it's a Penrith-Parramatta rivalry.
I talked about this with Guru the other day. It's like Panthers are on the exact same points as Melbourne, like 42 points or whatever the fuck they're on. You wouldn't even know that they're up there. They've kind of slid under the radar. Ivan would like to be underneath there as well. But their timing, like I'd almost want to rather be in Panthers' position right now than Storm's position.
I'll throw you a quick one, just a quick one. A little hypothetical, because I love all this sort of stuff for punning wise and whatnot. Would you prefer to finish first and play Manly, or second and play Rabbitohs?
Second. What do you get, 100K for minor premiership? Kiddies, yeah, who gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 100K.
Yeah, something like that.
Kiddies. For the boys up there.
Listen to Cheese. Even Cheese said it after the game and had to pull himself back in.
He did. So funny at the end of the interview. Sorry, boys, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think Manly are as scary.
Do you think Penrith and Melbourne will just back themselves that they're that much better? And
I reckon Panthers can score more points than Manly if it got into a shoot-off.
Yep.
And I think Storm would be able to nullify.
Here's another one. If you're Manly, who would you rather play, Penrith or Storm?
I think I reckon they're in the confidence space where they want to take on anyone. But right now, I'd take on Storm, eh?
Yeah, I'd probably agree there.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's crazy.
Just quickly before we move off that game, I'd be remiss if I didn't sneak in a shout out to Hayes Perham getting the start in the one jumper for Parramatta.
Hayes if you're watching, Jacko, he does have a bit of a fan club with a few toilers, guys on the outside of some lineups, and he's been a big fan of yours for a minute. So
there you go.
Is that why you're Isaac John fan back in the day, bro?
Exactly. love me a while.
Should have played some more first grade.
Isaiah Papali'i turned out all right for him. I think Hayes could be in the similar sort of vein. He's a good player, man. Very good player. Jumping across to Saturday, Brisbane Broncos taking on your boys, Ice. Newey the $1.54.
Former boys.
Already,
off
it's
before the end
happened
of the season. How do you see that one playing out?
Do you know what? If someone said the Broncos are going to win, I reckon they're playing some all right football, bro.
Yeah.
Alex Glenn's last game. We struggle for attack with the Knights. I think if Mitchell or Kalen don't play, obviously we don't win last week.
Yep.
I don't know. Hopefully you want the Knights sort of rolling it and sort of coming into a bit of form, rolling into the finals. We need it. I just don't think scoring 12 or 16 points in finals is going to be enough these days, especially when you're going up against the big dogs. And defensively, we're not even that great as well. So it's up to Kalen. Honestly, it's up to Kalen.
Yeah.
I can't get a Knights game right to fucking save my life this whole year, and I'm leaning towards Broncos $2.50. So your Knights could be safe here.
Yeah. Shout out to the Hello Sports boys as well. We have 4 NRL.com no photos on the Broncos side. Don't know how that happens. Selwyn Cobbo, Albert Kelly.
That
Danny
Cobbo's
Levi,
good, bro.
TC
Cobbo's
Ravati.
nice, bro.
Cobbo's good.
How
Cobbo's
they haven't been able to
nice.
snap a photo of him, I'll never know. But Saturday, second game, Scope, Bird Gang, $1.07 up against the Cowboys at 9s. How do you see that one going?
We talked about their team list, about like how it looked, how it might shape, and they've pretty much named a full deck of cards. So, yeah, I can't see. The Cowboys are a fucking weird team too. Like, they have little spurts in games too where they look like.
Oh no, but it's against the Dragons. Like,
no, like they've had other games too where you just think like, even throughout the year, that period where they won 3 in a row, like after like week 5 or 6. Without Jason Tomalolo, like when Michael Morgan just retired. You know what I mean? Like they're weird like that, bro. So,
Ice.
Manly should cover this game quite comfortably.
Yeah.
I like this Lukey kid, bro. Hillian Lukey.
oh, the back rower. How quick is he, bro?
Big.
Do you know when he first came onto my radar, bro? When he chased down Reece Walsh, and Reece Walsh still scored that Mickey try.
Was that him?
That was him, bro.
Pulled
Like,
him down.
yeah, he pulled him down, and then he made a nice little break against the fucking Dragons on the weekend as well.
What's our little mate DCE saying about this week? I reckon he's saying
I haven't spoken to DCE this
we need to start faster, boys.
Come on, boys, that's not good enough.
I reckon they're going to put everything into the start, and like you got some vets there with DCE and Fozzie. They know how to play finals football, and they want to be humming. I reckon they want to smack them.
I think they will.
And
Scope,
I think they will.
Is it a fair assessment, Scope, Manly, when they have pumped some of the lower teams, they tend to go hard for 60 and maybe put the queue in the rack a little bit late?
Yeah, Tommy's coming off after 50, 60.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
Get those hammies on
but
ice.
then like Cowboys, like they've got some points in them. They're all right. So they'll put up the first 20, 25. But yeah, Manly will be too good.
Skipper Scope, game of the round. Corey Mudders Norman, last game for the Dragons up against South.
Fuck. Get out of there, bro.
How do you see this one playing out, man? They're a red hot chance given who Souths are missing, I would say.
We're looking at the teams, we're like, you're just so doubtful with the Dragons, man. Like,
I'll go out and say the Dragons should win, but Scope, I'll leave it with you.
I'm on the Dragons. I'm on the Dragons
Let's go,
this week. I'm gonna get behind Mudders for his last game. I hope he wins.
I think the Mad Monday would be the motivation for Normie this week, eh? Get on the
I want to give a big rap. I messaged Ice during the game. He was snoozing. He was having a little nap, maybe 75 too hard on the Saturday.
75 medium.
Big shout out to, we love him, little Bud Sullivan, little Jaden Sullivan. I'm not just talking about, so the first like 25 minutes of the game, he comes out, he sets up a nice little try, makes a little break, sets up a try, then he bounces out a dummy half, fights his way over. He's just a fucking goal. But the impressive part for me is he's playing hooker. He's a normal 5'8". And
that's like a slap in the face if you're in half.
yeah, so when you're younger, like you want to be playing in your preferred position. And it's so tough to go from edge to middle because just like engine-wise, like I struggled being a second rower, moving to play lock.
I didn't mind going, like I played 13 few games. I didn't mind it. Because you get in the flow, bro.
But you played in a gun fucking Penrith team too, didn't you, when you were playing in
I was, this is only like Reggie's and stuff.
Yeah, but
like,
you were gun, weren't you?
yeah, we were going.
Yeah, so when you're on the front foot, grouse. When if you're playing a team where, like, if you're the Dragons and you're in a 50-50 six again, fucking, like, it can proper rattle you, bro. So I've been so impressed with him. And the impressive part for me was when Cowboys scored their first or second try, they did a crossfield kick. He comes shooting out for kick pressure at the 25, 30-minute mark. And just little efforts like that, I messaged him straight away. And I said, bro, like, I love you. He stands out in that team.
Yeah,
like,
I think so too.
He stands out in that team because of the efforts he puts in. Normie's been telling us about him for ages. Got a massive rap on him. So it's going to be a nice little battle. They'll have Benny Hunt there playing next year at half. And
who's the
him and Junior Ramon will have a nice little fucking battle. And no matter what happens, they've got Chainsaw at hooker, Andrew McCulloch. Because they still need a couple of veterans. They've got all these young kids coming through. You got that Tyrell Sloan he's silky, bro. He's
I like him, bro. I'm a big fan.
I know you're hating on the Dragons a little bit because you know that.
I love the boys.
Love the boys,
and
and
fan base.
I can't wait to see these young guns play well next year, man. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, Mo, bro. That right foot,
Filthy.
Bang.
Is this a completely horrible take? Because I've got a few in me. Amon to me looks like he'd be a really good strike centre. I don't know if necessarily in the
I don't think he'd be big enough, bro.
Not big enough.
Right now, I'd go Bud Sullivan at 6 for next year because he's just got a little bit more football in him. Then I'd drag him off the bench, to be honest.
That's not your worst take.
Okay,
that's not your worst take on Junior Ramon. Like he's got footy in him, and he's not like they're both not that polished in terms of ball players at the moment. They look like they're better runners, and they're just like they compete.
That's the go right now, bro. Runners are in fashion.
Sullivan's probably a bit further ahead.
Yeah, and so in terms of like running shape and that, he looks. But like it's exciting to see Junior Ramon. Like he's obviously got a relationship with both those boys, and that little kick on the inside to set up
just
Tyrell.
different. Like, you know what I mean?
Like you haven't seen that like from like Normie and Duff have little spurts like when they combine together, but like it's not consistent enough.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys, I feel like growing up with the footy, a lot of the footy they play together. And is it Fagai?
Fiangai, yeah.
Fiangai?
Yeah.
He's nice as well. So they all played SG ball together and played
That's good. I like those when those sort of stories come through, and especially when they're successful as young sides. Like Penrith have been the obvious example of this. It actually matters because when you're young and you're playing for a club, you're like, "Fuck, we're gonna be at this club forever."
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like a lot of clubs will try and like manufacture culture. That's just culture already built in, and that's why Penrith are successful because they're so used to winning in the juniors and they're from the area.
Do you ever see
they
Jerome?
Actually care, bro.
Do you ever see Jerome Bizza and Stephen Crichton do post game press conference without each other?
Yeah.
Like they're just always together, bro. Like those guys love each other. And even Nath, like sometimes Nath will see him together and he'll come like jump over the top.
Little token white boy.
Bro, that stuff, that relationship is not just like first grade. That is like junior footy relationship. And it makes a big difference at Penrith.
I talked about Jerome yesterday on Guru's podcast as well, and he's like, bro, he's so mature because he can do everything. And we've talked about this in the past, but he's happy to just give the ball early to Matt Burton, who's pretty much almost going to take his spot at the start of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's happy to just drop it off. And like I said, whenever someone scores a try, he's the first bloke in there and he's up really, really high.
Yeah.
He's up there like nice and high like this. He's up the top. So, I mean, he's a great team player, man. When you're in a team like that and one of your most skillful players is all about the boys as well, fuck, it's infectious.
Quick little last take from me, Scope. Isaac John, the Stephen A. Smith of the NRL. Loves the players of the Dragons, just hates, you know how Stephen A hates the Cowboys fans, but loves the boys.
Yeah.
Here's Isaac.
Oh, most of the fans are all right.
Okay.
But like the reason why I'm talking about this is because I've got Corey's Instagram. Like a lot of people don't know this, but I've got Corey's Instagram account, bro. And some of the messages that come through are fucking disgusting, man. Like, go kill yourself, like shit like that. And this probably happens at every club. I
can only imagine, bro, because I get message on mine and I don't even have his account. I'm like, bro, I didn't even watch the Dragons game this week.
I chose to enjoy my weekend.
Rolling in Sunday, couple of cracking games. We got the Gold Coast and the mighty Wars. Scope, we'll start with you here. Obviously, for the Gold Coast, the equation's pretty simple. They need things to go their way, but win and they give themselves a chance to get in the 8.
Yeah, well, obviously, so they're behind on points. They were my tip with the Knights to make it, and they're not looking likely. Like I said, I've got the Raiders. I've got the Raiders making. They'll make it, and Titans unfortunately will fall short. But a few signings, they've been able to keep on to little Jaden Campbell, how they roll next year. It'll be an important game. They want to go out winner. Like both teams probably won't make the final, so
it's almost like a trial for the round 1 next year. I reckon. Like the boys need to turn up, and then. But yeah, like Titans as a whole, they're trending the right way.
Yeah.
Everyone wants success now, and obviously when you got documentaries in and around you, like the building Titans doco and Tigers of whatever that's called, like
Tales of Tiger Town.
it's like, bro, it's like when you watch Hard Knocks and you're like fuck, the boys are on this year.
Yeah.
Like that's what content does. It manufactures like narratives.
I can't wait. I got Luch and that on to do the Tigers one, Stefano Ikamanu as well.
Yep.
So I'm excited to hear them talk about like what it's like, because I know Luch is like a big NBA NFL fan and he watches like Hard Knocks and all that. So I'm excited to hear what they say about what that experience is like actually being on the other side of it.
He was good. He was like,
Yeah.
An actual character, yeah.
yes, I'll sulk for 24 hours and I'll just carry on.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to see a Hard Knocks on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, next year would be grouse.
Like start round one. I mean, day one of preseason, talking to Baz, talking to all the new boys coming through.
Perfect. Yeah, proper Hard
Fox
Knocks.
would be a good character as well.
Proper
Fox.
Hard Knocks, yeah, for Bulldogs. Try to make that happen.
YKTR Sports.
We need some more money, bro. Someone sponsor us. I'll make the doco.
10 in the Ken. We'll call it 10 episodes in the Ken again. We're going to bring back 10 in the Ken.
No. Is that it? Jacob?
Yeah, one more game, mate. Game of the round. Tigers Bulldogs. Last game on the Sunday. Where are you going?
Who cares? Bulldogs. I'm going Bulldogs. Fuck it.
I feel sorry for the Tigers, when I watch that doco, when I see them. And when you already know the result too, and you're watching it play out on that, like you see them get themselves in positions and Madge leans back and he looks happy, and then something happens in a game.
I was talking to someone, I won't say his name, and I was talking about that doco, and he goes, "Oh, was he being himself, or was he putting it on for the camera?" I was like, "Take me in that."
Yeah.
So, and like I don't know. I'm going Dogs. I just want hopefully they roll into a good year next year. I'd love to see that Bulldogs in the top 8. I've always said this. I just enjoy certain teams being in the finals. I think Melbourne Roosters, like Lakers should always be in the NBA. I just think the comp's better, and have your Cinderella stories every now and then. I just like those bigger markets being in finals contention. So I'm going Bulldogs. Hopefully
fan
they can
base.
hopefully they can just jag one. Imagine when Bulldogs get good again, and then Parramatta are pumping. Like, you know what I mean? Fuck, that shit used to get crazy. So I love that stuff.
Cool. That's it, boys.
Thanks
Another good show.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.